Okay, hello. My name is Beth Grasso. I'm one of the school counselors here at Westmore Central High School. And we're really excited to have Kirsten Bowens here from Kean University as part of our college admissions series. So I'm just going to start off, if you would tell us a little bit about yourself and about Kean University.
Awesome. Well, good afternoon, Elizabeth. Thank you so much for having us. A little bit about myself. My name is Kirsten Bowens. I'm one of the admissions counselors here at Kean University. I've been with the university for about a year and a half. I am the athletics liaison for all the incoming athletes. In addition to that, I'm also the College of Business and Public Management liaison as well. So I work with all the students that are interested in business, criminal justice, public management, things of that nature as well. In my territories, Bergen County, Hudson County, Morris County, Sussex County, pretty much the northern region as well. So I'm super excited to be here today to answer some good questions.
Great. So you are a go-to person.
Yeah, there you go.
And you wear many hats. Wow. Very impressive. Many hats. So again, I know you're so busy, so we appreciate you taking the time to help us out here.
Absolutely.
Can you tell us maybe a little bit, what is your favorite aspect of the school, the culture, the community?
Definitely. Awesome. So my favorite aspect of the campus is definitely the diversity. A lot of our students, around 70% of our students do come from a diverse background. We also are a Hispanic serving institution as well. So majority of our students do come from the Union County territories, even Hudson County, Essex County as well. So there's a sense of close-knitness, if you will, and a family kind of feel with the university as well. We are a very big institution. We have around 16,000 students that are enrolled, but there's still that sense of, camaraderie with a small classroom environment. Our class size is around 16 to 20 students per class, depending upon, how large the major is, how popular the major is, and, how many students end up, being in that class. But we don't really have a lot of lecture halls. So that's another, reason of that inclusivity that students, do, admire about the university, including myself as well.
Yeah, that's impressive to have that many students and yet have a 16-to-1 faculty ratio.
Yes, very
Wow.
much so.
Yeah, so it's a big school with a very small feel to it, it sounds
Exactly.
like,
Yep.
which is wonderful. Can you tell me a little bit about maybe sports, or obviously sports, right? Because that's your in your wheelhouse, the sports, clubs, Greek activities, that type of information.
Definitely. So Kean University, we have 16 NCAA Division III sports, or athletics teams, I should say. We are super excited because we are in the process of bringing back track and field. It is going to be a outdoor spring event. So we're looking forward to that. In addition to that, wrestling as well. So with Division III sports, we do not offer athletic scholarships, but our students receive very generous academic scholarships in respective of that. Outside of that, if students aren't coming into play, athletically, or if they're looking for an intramural sport, something that's outside of the NCAA atmosphere, we have a ton of intramural sports. We have 170 different clubs on campus, so students have a great opportunity to get involved in the community, both here on campus and outside of the campus as well. In the union community as well. So when you think about that, our fraternities and sororities do such a great job at giving back to our community and union, our youth. So there's majors that students can go into for different clubs, but then you also have the fraternities and sororities that students can go into as well. So there's a lot of students here that are actively involved. We used to be a commuter school, but now we've changed the dynamics of that, where students are looking to stay on campus and get involved. So we're super excited about that. Our residence halls are at full capacity, so Kean is the place to be right now. So we're super excited for that.
Yeah, that is exciting. Any fun traditions you want to share?
Yeah, so we actually just had our homecoming here. So that is an annual tradition that we usually have. We welcome, alumni students. We welcome our current students to, just have a good time on campus. We have food trucks, games, giveaways. It's a great way for students to still, get that experience of what it was like when they were a student here. And, current students to just come together as a Kean family. So that's one of our biggest traditions at the school.
Yeah, sounds fun.
Yeah.
What would you say are some of the top majors at your school? So if I was to say, if I'm going to major in blank, I should absolutely consider going to your school.
Right. I would definitely say our top major is education. We are a teacher school, so even our president, Dr. Repolag, he came from the, education background as well. But we are a huge teacher school. We have students that come in for elementary education, secondary education. They take the praxis exam and then become certified to become New Jersey State teachers. In addition to that, our runner-up is definitely our College of Business and Public Management. So students have the opportunity to go into that department. That is actually one of our newest buildings on campus, which is Hines Hall. We had a group tour today with about 30 students from a school that came up to visit to learn more about the business program as well. And then third, I would definitely say our architecture program, School of Design, Michael Graves School of Design. So if you have students that are interested in graphic design, industrial design, interior design, they would have to submit a supplemental application process, which is a portfolio is what we call it. So students have to submit 12 slides of their best work. And there's also an opportunity for students to study in Rome for a semester period of time as well. So those are our top three, I would definitely say, majors.
Wow, I'm learning so much as we go.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing. Can you tell me a little bit more about the new Skylands campus?
Yeah. So Skyland sits in Morris County, which is Jefferson, New Jersey. So that campus is basically for students that are interested in an outdoor learning experience. We see a lot of environmental science majors, biology majors, not to exempt any other majors, but this is more of a commuter campus. There are no residence halls that are there, but we have an opportunity for students to go there to get a very hands-on experience and immerse themselves in an outdoor environment. So there is a cabin that has 3 levels of classroom space, an open observation deck that crowns the whole building. And we're also in the process of working on a skywalk, which includes 2 outdoor classrooms and event space for facilitative programming as well. So we have a lot of students that are attending that campus location as well, and they can also benefit from Kean's low-cost tuition, financial aid resources, also learning support and tutoring that's at that campus as well.
That's exciting. Yeah. Sounds like a great place. So speaking of finances, we hear so much about actual price versus sticker price.
Right.
Can you talk a little bit more about maybe the financial aspect of Kean?
Absolutely, for sure. So Kean University, we pride ourselves on being one of the most affordable institutions in the state of New Jersey. Our tuition is only around $12,000 a year, and that is for a student that's looking to, enroll into the university that's outside of the housing and meal plan costs. But our students graduate with little to no debt. After graduation, we have a program that's called Kean Tuition Promise. So students meet the parameters of their family making around $65,000 or less. They could qualify to receive the Garden State Guarantee that covers a student's gap of whatever balance they have remaining for their first 2 years. And then we have a Kean Tuition Promise, which covers the gap for their last 2 years. So a student could potentially end up, committing to the university and paying $0. So in terms of financial aid, we have a great financial aid team here that meets with every prospective student. So once a student gets accepted, they have to then fill out the FAFSA that went live October 1st, I think it was. So they'll have the opportunity to fill out the FAFSA, meet with a financial aid counselor, go over, what grants they could be eligible for, what scholarships, and also what loans they could potentially be eligible for. We want to stay away from loans, but if a student is eligible for some loans, we could also use that as a resource as well. So those are the opportunities for financial aid as well.
It's fantastic. Yeah. Sounds like Kean is very generous.
Yes.
Are you still test optional? Is Kean still test optional?
Yes. So one of the initiatives that we rolled out for the university and students, when COVID impacted not just the world itself, but with the university, we created a test optional piece. So for students to apply to the university, we're no longer looking at the SATs as an indication of their success here. But if they do submit them, we would need a minimum of at least a 1050 And then we basically would look at their academic rigor. So how well they're challenging themselves academically from their freshman to their senior year. If they're taking those 16 Carnegie units, English, math, science, history, 2 foreign languages as well. So that would be, what we would use as an indication to award scholarship. And when students apply, we would take those specific indications into consideration for a scholarship. So every student that is reviewed for admission, they're also reviewed for a scholarship as well that they'll receive every single year.
Great. So there's no additional application for such scholarships?
No, correct.
Okay.
There's no extra application process.
Okay, great. So we're an IB World School with both the IB diploma, right, and the IB career-related program. So how does that affect, or does it, a candidate's admissions, potential possibilities?
Yes. So typically, when we are reviewing a candidate, we do look at, IB courses, honors prep courses, college prep courses, things of that nature. But it wouldn't be a deciding factor for a student. We wouldn't, turn our doors down for a student that didn't have the appropriate grades. We would use the IB to grant an advantage to waive courses for students when they're creating their course evaluation. So in the admissions process, it's not required. It's not a requirement, but we would review it after the student's been admitted. They sit down with the academic advisor. They then see those courses that they've taken, and then they would do the course evaluation that way.
Great. So if they scored a certain score, maybe on certain tests, they would maybe be eligible to get credits for that.
Correct. 100%. Yes.
Great. Great. So how important is the essay?
So the essay is very important. We want to use this for students as a time to shine, to show their personality, to talk about, anything in their life that made a great impact on them, any trials, tribulations they may experience, and what, that experience was like that made them better. And then we also want to talk about why they would be a great fit for Kean University in specific, right? Sometimes I see students say, hey, I'm so looking forward to attending Montclair State. And I'm like, listen, you guys need to see your creative writing center, make sure that you're writing the correct essay, sending it to the correct school as well. And there's slight, human errors, but we just want students to show and broadcast their personality, any accolades that they do have when they are applying to the university as well.
Yeah. And I guess to follow up on that too, how important would you say are the activities that the students are engaging in?
Yes. So activities, we want to see if you're involved in any clubs, any organizations, anything outside of just you being, an academic student. That way you would be able to bring those qualities to the university as well. And like I mentioned before, we talked a little bit about clubs, organizations. There's a club for every major. So if you're already enrolled in a club or yearbook club, science club, I've even seen students in a trading club with finance. So if those are attributes that you are currently enrolled in, you can bring those, experiences to the university and help our programs grow as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So you're looking at the application, right? You have all the pieces that you're looking at there. How can a student, I guess, make themselves stand out? Are there any things that just jump out at you when you're evaluating students?
Definitely. So we want to see if the student has any engagement with the school, right? If they've come up to visit any open houses, if they've come for any, what it's like to be a student at the university. We have a Kean Cougar Day. So if they've shown any, strong interest in the university, that's a standout student to me. They're showing that they're committed to the university. They're committed to their education. They're committed to their future goals. So for me, as an admissions counselor, when I'm looking at this star student, I'm looking at their academic rigor, I'm looking at their essay, I'm looking at, how well they're involved. Oh, I've seen, this student that's come up to the school, they met with me in person, they've even indulged in an instant decision day. So I've made a connection with this student. So, that would be a star student for us, a good rock star student.
So it sounds like demonstrated interest is really important.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely. If you could offer one piece of advice to a student either kind of entering the college search or application process, what would that be?
I would say, take it easy. Don't be hard on yourself. I know the college selection process is quite overwhelming sometimes. I see a lot of students that are in college fairs. They're, a little overwhelmed. There's so many schools there. You have to make a list of the schools that interest you the most, with Kean hopefully being number one. But I say that to say that, as a living testimony, going through the college process with my father, it was a very challenging one because, we were looking at the cost of attendance, the location, if I wanted to be home, if I wanted to be with my friends. So those indications, I think that my piece of advice to a student is make a list of your top 5 schools, do the research, speak to academic deans, speak to professors, dive a little bit deeper into the program of your interest, look at success rates, look at job placement rates. I would even say, look at possible internships that students are going into in this field. And then also attend an open house, right? So it's very important for you to step foot on a campus to see if this is where your home is going to be for the next 4 years of your life. So for me, it's those 3 components of just basically making a list, checking it twice, and going to see a school to see if it would be a good fit for you, and use the resources that are around you, admissions counselors like ourselves, financial aid counselors, so you can gain as much knowledge about a school to make that final decision at the end. So that's my piece of advice.
I love it.
Yeah.
This is fantastic advice. Thank you so much. It's really fit is so important, right? You really have to, you learn a lot about yourself going through this process.
Absolutely.
So I think, I'm very well said. So thank you. Yeah. So we've come to the end of our interview already.
There we go.
But thank you so very much. I'm going to stop the recording.
Okay.
But again, I know, is there an email that the students can reach you at? Any information you want to share with them before we stop the recording?
Yes, for sure. So my contact information, my email is kbowens@kean.edu, and my phone number is 908-737-7126 if you have any questions.
Perfect. So I'm just going to end the recording.
All right.
Thank you so much.
No problem. My pleasure.